Contestant number 4, Toastmaster Rose George. His speech title, Target the Speaker. Target the Speaker, Toastmaster Rose George, contestant number 4.
You cannot face a problem when the problem is your face. Madam Contest Chair, friends and fellow Toastmasters, this was a feedback I received from one of the expert evaluators very close to my heart, my wife. The story of my speech goes back to the early 1990s. I know you are guessing my age. It was a season of speech contest in Jubail and in the Eastern Province. I was a fresh Toastmaster. I wanted to participate in the speech contest. I had everything laid in place except a good speech. So they invited me to be a target speaker. The day arrived. I was all ready. I walked into the club. There were 5 photographers, almost 5 videographers, 7 sergeants at arms, but only 3 contestants. I was done with my speech, waiting in front. The first evaluator came. He was a little nervous. Mostly he didn't speak, but his body did. And he was nervous. At the same time, he had a blissful smile on his face. As you know, if you have an innocent smile, you know that you don't know, right? But if you have a blissful smile, you don't know that you don't know. In spite of all these things, he was a fantastic evaluator because he used the word fantastic 17 times. He said, my introduction was fantastic, body was fantastic. I don't know what was not fantastic about my speech. He was nervous. Then he came around to the recommendation part. He gave me one solid recommendation. Very nervously, he said that I was nervous. I should have practiced more and more. But you know, he wanted to end his evaluation on a very pretty positive note. He wanted to use some figurative language. He wanted to say that I really painted a beautiful picture of true life in black and white. But in his nervousness, he said the speaker was painted black and white. And during that 1-minute transition break, silence, everybody was silent. And I was silently looking at my skin color. He was done. The second evaluator came. He chose to be in the center. He didn't like to move to the right or left. And he was a wonderful evaluator. Now you know why he was a wonderful evaluator. And he didn't evaluate my speech. He evaluated me. And he said, your opening was wonderful. Your middle part was wonderful. I had no clues what he was talking about. Then he said, the end was wonderful. And wondering what was not really wonderful about my speech. Finally, he came around to the recommendations part. That was really very wonderful. You know what he said? In my humble opinion, Toastmaster George, you could have used the entire stage. The stage was yours. But I thought the stage belonged to Al Jude management, not my stage. And the last evaluator came. He was an excellent evaluator. You know why? And he talked about me, my family, my club, everybody. Everything was excellent according to him. But he came around to the recommendations. He was completely different from the rest of his race. I'm sorry, the rest in the race. You know what he said? In my humble opinion, he could have brought in a little live prop. But the speech was about my wife. And she was not as little as he thought she was. And also he said, Toastmaster George, if he didn't find one, he could have borrowed it from one of your friends. I was a little worried because my wife knew my borrowing habits. She was sitting there. He was done. And she walked up to me. The evaluation contest was over. And she asked me, I asked her, my dear, how was the speech? She looked at my face. It was a joke, she said. And ladies and gentlemen, ever since that moment, whenever someone invites me to be a target speaker, I apply for emergency leave and go missing. Even my wife doesn't know where I will be. Friends and fellow Toastmasters, evaluation is not imagination. Evaluation is not a simple talk. It's much more than that. Do you all agree with me? Yes. Madam Contest Chair.